Hey guys, this is Rachel from Cypress Textiles, and today I'm going to show you how to make the lilac motif from the 2024 VVCAL. So I'm going to get started with a slip knot on my hook, and then I'm going to chain 3 and slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook to make a ring. And then all in my ring, I'm going to make a first round of popcorns and chain spaces and single crochet. So first we're gonna go straight into the center of the ring with a single crochet, no chaining up, and chain 1, and then 3 double crochet, and this is gonna be our beginning popcorn. So 1, 2, 3 double crochet, and scoot your stitches together on your ring, and then release your loop from the hook, insert the hook front to back through the beginning double crochet chain, and grab your loop and pull it through to the front to close your popcorn. And now we're gonna chain 3, single crochet in the ring, chain 3, and make a regular popcorn. So just 4 double crochet, 2, 3, and 4, and then push your stitches together again and release your loop, insert your hook front to back through the first double crochet, grab your loop and pull it through to the front, chain 3, single crochet in the ring, chain 3, make another popcorn, all right. Releasing my loop from my hook and closing my popcorn now. And now we have 3 popcorns, and I'm just gonna finish up my round here with chain 3, single crochet in the ring, and chain 3. All right, so when I finish, I'm gonna have 3 popcorns, 3 single crochet, and 6 chain spaces. And now I'm gonna close my round with a slip stitch in the chain that comes right after my popcorn, the chain that I used to close my popcorn. I'll make a slip stitch, okay? So here's how my first round is going to look. And now we're just gonna make round 2, which is just chain spaces and single crochet. So directly into my next chain space here, I'm gonna make a single crochet and then chain 3, and then just go all the way around to your 6 chain spaces, and put a single crochet, chain 3. All right, so I have my round complete. I just need to join with a slip stitch in my first single crochet. Okay, so now I have 6 chain spaces and 6 singles, and I'm ready to start my next round, which is going to be 2DC clusters and chain spaces. So in the next chain space, I'm gonna make a beginning 2DC cluster. So I'm gonna go straight into that chain space with a single crochet, no chaining up, chain 1, and then a double crochet. And those stitches together are gonna make the first 2DC cluster of my round. Now I'm gonna chain 2 and make a regular 2DC cluster. Just yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop. Draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook and do that again. And you're gonna have 3 loops on your hook and just draw the yarn through all 3 loops, and there's a 2DC cluster. Now chain 2, make another 2DC cluster in that same chain space. Chain 2, and that's how it's going to look all the way around, with 3 2DC clusters in each chain space, all with 2 chain spaces in between. All right, and I'll show you how it looks when it's done. Okay, so my round 2 is finished, and I've joined with a slip stitch in the beginning 2DC cluster. So here's how our round looks, and our next round is also going to be clusters and chain spaces. And I will say, if you're working with a color pack that has the 10-gram balls and you're usually running out, or I'll say if your motifs are a lot of times bigger than your plain motifs, or your gauge just measures larger than mine because you have a tall golden loop or something like that, our next round is going to have 3 treble clusters. So if you often run out of yarn or your stitches are just naturally very tall, I would replace these three treble clusters with three DC clusters instead. And that way your stitches aren't quite so tall. So mine just lays flat, but if your stitches are usually very tall, yours is gonna puff up in the middle because this center section is gonna be too big. And then whenever everything gets cinched back in, you're gonna have a puffed up center. So if that always happens to you, I would go ahead and switch these out with 3 DC clusters instead of 3 treble clusters. Okay, so for the pattern as it's written, they are 3 treble clusters. So I'm gonna make a beginning 3 treble cluster by going straight into my next chain space with a single crochet, chain 2, and then run my yarn twice, insert my hook, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook twice. And I'm going to do that again, yarn over twice, insert the hook and pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through the 2 loops on the hook twice. And now I've got 3 loops on my hook, draw the yarn through all 3 loops, and that's my first 3 treble cluster. Now chain 3, and now we're going to make a regular 3 treble cluster in the next chain space. And one tip I have as well is just whenever you're wrapping twice to make your 3 treble cluster, scoot your wraps close to the top of your hook so that the wraps aren't all loosey-goosey. If you're like this and you're trying to make a treble, you're gonna have a giant gap whenever you have your cluster. So just scoot everything close to the top so it's nice and, I wouldn't say tight, but so that it's just nice and taut, I guess you could say. So then insert your hook and make your treble. And you can see now everything is fine. There's not a giant gap right here. This is where you're gonna notice the gap if you've made your wraps too loosely and spread out. All right, so we're just gonna do that twice more, just like that. And another one for a 3 treble cluster. Now I've got 4 loops because this is a regular cluster, not the beginning one. So I'll draw the yarn through all 4 loops and chain 3. And my repeat is just gonna be 3 TR cluster in the next chain space and chain 3 all the way around until you've got 18 clusters and 18 chain spaces. Okay, so I flattened it out to show you that my round is complete. This is round 4 and it's finished. I did join with a slip stitch in the first cluster. And now I'm ready to work the final 3 rounds, which are super simple. My next round is just going to be chain spaces, so I'm going to go straight into my next chain space with a single crochet, chain 3, and then back into the same chain space with another single crochet, chain 3, and then single crochet in the next chain space, chain 3, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 3, and once again single crochet in the next chain space. And now when I chain 3, I'm going to go back into the same chain space to make a single. So this is how each side is going to look. Make sure you have the 2 chain spaces, the 2 single crochet in the chain space here, and then you have 3 chain spaces and then another loop, another corner chain space loop. All right, so I'm going to work one more side just so you can see how these stitches are going to be spaced out, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, all right, so here's my next side as well. Okay, and you're going to work around until you have 6 of these loops right here, and then each of them with 3 chain 3 spaces in between. All right, so that's how that round looks, and I did close with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. So here's how we're looking here. We're starting to look like a hexagon. On the next round, we're just gonna make chain spaces and single crochet again, but this time it's even simpler because straight into the next chain space, I'm going to make a slip stitch so I'm more toward the center of it, and then a single crochet right in the middle, and then chain 2 this time. So we're gonna kind of reel everything in so it's not so kind of floppy. So you're gonna make just single crochet and chain 2 all the way around. You're not gonna make anything special in the corner, just single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, all the way around. Even in your corner chain spaces, just a single crochet. and chain 2. All right, so we're going to look a little more cinched on the next round. It's going to balance everything out and turn it back into a hexagon. All right, so you're gonna see that you're gonna look like you're having some cupping because you just made chain 2 instead of chain 3. But once you put the single crochet, it's gonna even it back out. So we're in a corner chain space right now. So I'm gonna work into this, we're in a corner stitch. So I'm gonna work into the next chain space with 2 single crochet. And then in the next single, I'm gonna make a single crochet as well. And just repeat that, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the single, 2 single crochet in the chain space, 1 single crochet in the single, and 2 more single crochet in the next chain space. And now we're up to our corner. So you can see it's the corner because it's in this loop here. And that's how you can tell whenever you get to your corner. So in the corner stitch, I'm gonna make 3 single crochet. Okay, and I'm gonna make 11 single crochet on the side by working 2 in the space, 1 in the single crochet, and just go all the way across like that until I've got 11 single crochet on my side. And just pay attention because you can keep working and go all the way around, but whenever you get to your corner, pay attention that you've got your loop here and make 3 single crochet. And I'm gonna show you how this does flatten your round back out. So you can see the rest of my round is still looking pretty cupped, but these 2 sides are laying flat. So that's what we're gonna get out of the rest of this sides. And it's gonna look like this whenever it's complete, like a hexagon. And this has been the Lilac motif from the 2024 VVCAL. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.